Curious po ko nga, gusto ko makabalo sa imong sugilanon. Nganong naabot ka karon diri sa kaning lugar, asa ka padulong ug asa ka gikan di ay. So, unsay ngalan ganito nimo?
Akong pangalan kay si Lydio. Og naay Lydia, ako si Lydio gikan sa from Negros, born and raised sa Negros Island. Og
Nganong naa ka karon diri sa Singalong House, Columban Singalong House sa Manila.
na ako dire and so bilang isa ka seminarista, usa ako ka seminarista sa Missionary Society of Saint Columban. I am here while I'm staying for 2 days kasi I'm waiting for my trip to Chile.
Wow.
Chile.
Bon voyage.
Yes, I'm here for my Chile trip.
Og karon na dumduman ako imong papa no kay si Boy Mangao magud ang una gyud ako na nakit-an o nakaila no na suod unya karon ang anak niya nisulod sa Columban formation ug karon moadto na sa Chile. So nindot kaayo pero ang curiosity na karon paunsa nagsugod nganong naabot ka aning puntuha sa imong kinabuhi. Asa nagsugod imong bokasyon sa pagka-Columban missionary?
Nag-start siya. The earliest memory I can have is back in 2004. So that was a long time ago that I can remember na naay namatay na amigo ni Papa. Ang iyang pangalan is Neil O'Brien. That was 2004. It was like about April. No? So si Papa was working with the Columbans, and he was working and he has friends with Columbans. Isa to siya sa Negros 9, no? That's another story, a big story. But so I learned about this man who is called in our village Pisaka PeaceMaker. PeaceMaker. Ay, wala po kasabuon sa to siya, basta PeaceMaker. Peace, kalinaw, paghidait. Pero I don't know what does it mean, pero I have a glimpse of how they did because of the stories I received from our elders in the Christian community. So nag-start to siya the yearning, the longing that ay namatay. Someone died as a peacemaker and isa siya kapari, Columbano. And he's working for peace through active nonviolence. And I have a yearning na, if one died, so someone has to at least respond to what he's doing. Probably it's important for me. So I did not know what is yet the distinction na Columban, diocesan, religious, or even monastic. I didn't know. But one thing is certain is there's something they've seen that they committed their lives to work for that, through that, to contribute for peace. And he's a Columban. So I met the Columbans before I fully know what they're actually doing, what is Columban as a religious or priest. But I like how way they live their faith. And that's something that fuel, it's a start then.
Now, because the first story I heard from you in our previous long time conversation was like you applied non-violence or you were giving some cards or to somebody. No? Do you know what I mean? The story, you know, like may mga tao, you were not a seminarian then, I think. And then that's a glimpse that you applied non-violence or something about peace, you know? Can you recall that story? Because I vaguely remember that.
So I just keep on myself that yearning to do something, no? But I didn't know yet how would I even do that. So back in Dumaguete, especially Dumaguete is really a rich ground, my second home. I did not fully disclose this yearning, this being drawn to this the non-violence also, the active non-violence. So I met people who they are responding to a situation. In particularly there's this NGO that gathered men. Kasi they noticed, why do we gather men? Kasi their situation is the thing. The around the world, as early as 2015, 1 out of 3 women, no, this is the situation that they've seen. 1 out of 3 women have experienced or will experience abuse in their lifetime, be it psychological, sexual, emotional, economic. And so, in the grassroots level, about 3 reports of abuses na nangyari sa Negros Oriental. So, that's the statistics. And they notice when they go to the community, a lot more resistance from men. Uy, that's the issue of the women. Bakit kami dito na ano? Not everyone, but there's that resistance. When women talk, then the men would, there's resistance. No? It's an apparent. And so there's gathering of men for men to talk to men about gender-based violence. And so that was the situation, actual and concrete, and even the wound of the people that we enter. And so for my case, as a newly graduated psychology student, a graduate, that was a doorway for me with this NGO, and then that situation, concrete situation, which I wish to contribute to peace. But what is the situation? What is the need of the situation? And this is how I live my faith in hindsight, that give me a glimpse that there's something to be done, but at the same time it should be collaborative. So Men Talking to Men about gender-based violence was funded by Spanish Aid, and we made modules to contribute to this situation, to respond for more literacy, and we can do better than this, and we can give our share. So it's one of the situation wherein we go to the community and then we give cards or even a sense of literacy. So that is one of those situations that it fueled the work for peace, or even in especially through active nonviolence.
Yes, my heart is warming because when I was a college student in San Carlos, as a seminarian, Toto Dasas, my classmate, actually invited Neil O'Brien. So then I get exposed to non-violence, and in the seminary we have that book also. I did not read that. Very thick, big books about non-violence. It's a system. It's a science. But Neil O'Brien is the embodiment of active non-violence. And I'm so warmed up here in my heart, happy, because my continuing in your embodiment, in your person. So, and now, thank you for your story, na-connect ba? Because it all started with meeting the person, the friend of your father, during his death ba, no? Yes. Which reminds me of another Columban student, when he was on the accompaniment program, hindi pa mag-decide. Pero that time, Father Rufus Halley was killed. So when he saw his coffin and his face there, even with the white, head cap, tapos, yun, parang na-feel niya, sino ang mag-continue sa gawa niya. So, he decided, kahit na may obligasyon pa sana sa mga kapatid magpaaral, he decided, I will finally join the seminary. Pero anyway, to make the long story short, ang journey niya, nakapag-asawa siya, lumabas siya from China, FMA, first mission assignment niya sa China, pag hindi pa siya pari, pero nung lumabas siya, nagturo, kilala mo siguro siya, nagturo siya sa Lasal, etc. Pero may kulang. Kaya nag-communicate sa vocation director natin si Jude, babalik siya. So, okay, sige, babalik na. Meanwhile, naririnig niyo palagi isang lugar, Karumatan, Columban area yan. So, nagbisita siya with a friend. Holy Week, na-meet niya si Jenny doon. Holy Friday.
Holy Friday.
in 3 days yata nagkaano sila na nag-decide nga mag-asawa. Tapos nung mag-pilgrimage of peace, yung FMA natin, tatlo, na-meet namin siya. Doon pa niya na-realize yung connection. Kasi sino ang mag-continue kay ko? Siya na pala ngayon. Pero not as a priest, but as a family man. Pero siya ang naiwan ngayon sa Karmatan. He's a teacher in Lala High School and active in the church, active in with the young people and so on. So that's Alito de Los Santos. Siguro ma-interview ko rin siya. Pero interesting ba kay it's a meeting a dead Columban. Witnessing Columban who has a mission and now there's a desire to continue his mission and you're doing the peacemaking, peace building in your own way, in your context. So ngayon, what's the new context that you're facing?
So it was then, no, that was the context. It was part of the experience of enfleshing what I received, no, embodying. So the context now is I'm in the formation. I'm my 5th year in the formation, and the time is ripe for me to be sent. I'm grateful to be sent to Chile, and honestly, I do not know what is ahead of me. And at the same time, while I don't know about it, I don't need to know. I am excited. I am grateful to receive the grace of openness to experience. That going there, it's in Chile. There's migration happening, coming inside, and so the context is several countries affected by different situation, economic, like the Venezuela, or even different areas like, I don't know, the context of Nicaragua or even Colombia, and in different areas of Latin America, going to Chile. And so I'm sent to this space called Santiago, which is the capital, and that's where I will stay for 2 years, Santiago, and different areas also of Santiago, to be present there. And God knows what is waiting for me, and certainly there is no alternative to peace. There is no alternative to peace, and in different dimensions, facets of our life. And I thought to myself, that is something that is I'm rooting on. That how will I meet God there? How is He working for peace? How is He even wish for the Columban student like me to grow my vocation in His way through that situation also? So what is now the context? Around the world, there's bigger challenge. Well, there's a lot, but one thing is the climate migration. Climate and migration. It's a migration induced by the climate. And so, whether we like it or not, if our space is experiencing disaster, we need to leave the place and then find greener pasture or look for better grounds. And that's happening. That's happening with it local or even outside the country, because there's no food, or there's not a person cannot be gainfully employed because of the situation. And I suppose migration, the climate-induced migration, the global warming, which is a big picture. And so, but one thing is certain though, what does it mean for me to live out this nonviolence? It entails a way of life in building community, because people are moving a lot more heightened sense of distrust that's happening, while we value humanity and meeting people. There's growing distrust towards the stranger coming in, which is not very new. Our Lord Jesus also experienced that. So yeah.
And I'm so aware that what's happening in UK since August 4, or Europe, wherein there's anti-migrants, anti-Islamist, anti-extremist protests now, and those violence in the protest, no? And I'm aware also that your first assignment would have been Pakistan.
Yes.
And you cut your hair to prepare for that.
Exactly.
So, can you tell us about this transition, this sudden change of assignment, and even your hair now looks different, and now you have an earring. Can you share something of your personal uh, story behind this?
Yeah. So the transition, because the first assignment that I received from the General Council is in Pakistan. I received that during the previous year, 2023 December, in one of the Simbang Gabi. I opened the email, and yeah, I was so happy. I prayed for it. What is my prayer like? Lord, allow me to embrace my the mission that I will receive. And one thing particular is to respond to where there's need the most, where there's most need. And so, looking back, I feel blessed to receive the Pakistan mission because I feel that it was answered prayer, and I celebrated the time. So, responding to that mission mission assignment, I have 12-inch hair, more than 12 inch. What happened? I looked for a place for it to donate, and there are kids losing their hair, alopecia, and some cancer patients. There are a lot of people helping them, gathering hair for wig. And so I went there responding, and then take whatever you need. And so they took very long hair. As part of my preparations, it would be put in a good use. So those are the letting go. While in embracing this mission in Pakistan, we have the Columbans work there for Christian and Muslim and even Hindu, no, interreligious, interfaith conversation. In responding to that, I feel that invitation to let go of something as part of preparation. And even my earrings was I took it, and then happily eventually, and then the hair. And what happened was, while I was waiting for my visa, I received another letter from the council.
When was?
It was 6th day of June this year, 2024, that I will be sent to Chile due to unforeseen and uncontrollable situation. So I will accompany another brother from South Korea to go there, and because even as early as 2,000 years, Jesus would say, "You are sent by two, now for us." And because my brother there is alone, and I'll be accompanying him, and that will be my first mission assignment. So, in short, the Pakistan mission assignment ended before it actually started. But one thing is something that I learned is that I feel heard and seen by God that time. That it somehow fulfilled that yearning to be part of the mission, and then it's the experience, it's the journey more than the end in itself. It's the journey of being open. I never thought I could let go of my hair. I never thought I could embrace even the thought of going to Pakistan. Pakistan has a lot of media coming into Philippines, but I was able to embrace it through God's grace. And it's something amazing that I experienced from God. To how was I able to be open in that level, and that is something, one of the reasons I celebrate that journey that ended before it actually started. And now I'm sent to Chile. Well, culturally it was allowed for a long hair, and God willing, it depends for the earrings also. But I'm more than my accessory, and so yeah, that's the story of the transition. I was so happy. And while I was sad at the same time, from that June 6th, in a week, while I was sad, honestly, I was sad. But one thing I recognize, because sometimes we cannot choose our feelings, no? We can only recognize what's happening. But one thing I'm certain, I feel accompanied by the Columbans. How they were gentle and very supportive to give me a space. And that's where I find it embracing the new assignment. It's tough to be in the place, going to Pakistan. And when you're so attached to it, then you need to let go. Letting go and coming in. That's where peace, I suppose, comes in. When there's enough time to self-knowing, to embrace something wholeheartedly and let go of it. Because it's a gift.
Which reminds me, my tagline in this channel is dialogue of life. That's all. But there's another like FB page. Let live, let God. Exactly. June 6th, something big happened in our society. Andre Paz, the first ever Filipino, has been chosen to become our leader, an international leader. And then what you just talked about now is the priority. Biodiversity, and because of the climate emergency, destruction of biodiversity, now we have the migration also. There are two priorities now. The universe story, biodiversity, and migrants. The first time I heard that
Climate migration.
climate migration. Most of us, or most of the migrants are climate emergency migrants because of the climate emergency. Ah, so it coincided. And then, as I understand, even though physically you will be assigned to Chile, but the region is called South America. You are assigned to South America. And if I may share how God also worked in my life, this Pakistan thing is part of His design. It has not ended. In my guess, based on my story also, you will see the connection somehow in the, let's say, migration. Huh? Even now we know that when even you mention it, when migrants come to the tugkaran of another family, then maybe in the beginning, okay, then later on there's a reaction. And that's happening in Europe now. They are reacting from these migrants. Because when the migrants come, they take their spaces. And of course, they bring with themselves their behaviors, their attitudes, and their culture.
Yes.
So there's a lot of tension there. And you will be in the middle of this, or you can help these migrants, Valenzuela, whatever. You will meet them, and somehow you will, in South America, you are mediating peace there. And then in the global picture, overall, as Columban, I think you will see also the Muslim Christian. It will be there. The migrants, it's just called migrants, because anyway, our priority now is migration and the biodiversity, the ecological advocacy. So still aligned with, but it's all connected, no?
Yes.
So finally, do you have a kind of something here from your heart that you really want to say, especially for the young people, because most of my audience here are young people.
For the young people, my fellow young people, I believe that the small and big things in our life are connected, interconnected. And so, where you are now, or where I am in, it may be different. We may be virtually distant or spaced, but we are still living in one common home. And my message is, try to find the connection of who are we in relation to our neighbor. Who am I in relation to you? Who am I in relation to the space we are in, the community we are in? And there's something in it that we are invited to find that connection for ourselves and to contribute to that. The interconnectedness is in itself a journey to savor. And if there is one word that I wish to share to my fellow young people, is that the creativity. Creativity, why creativity? Go out not only in where you are now, go out and meet people. While we can meet online, meet people and learn from their story, because Saint Columban said, the life other than our own can be our teacher. Yes, very difficult situation. We have space for playing the games or different priority, but allow others to be your teacher. The life other than our own can be our teacher. And how do we do that? You have your creativity. You receive more than what you can recognize now. The creativity, how it will happen? Just go there. Be creative or embrace the creativity you receive from God. Because those people can be very good teachers. We just have to be present. Fully present, the mind, body, and spirit. And that's where creativity would be nurtured. Salamat kaayo.
Yes, and what comes true for me, no, when listening to you is your presence, openness. That is ready to welcome anything, any person, no? So, but I'm aware that even though you will be ready wherever you go, and God said I'll be with you wherever you go, but I know that you've been preparing yourself by learning Spanish. So can you now give a little bit, let's say speak to the South Americans that you will meet in Spanish now. This is
Okay.
I'm rolling it says right. It's the Spanish missionary here.
Yeah. So, for the young people, for the young people, forgive me if by any chance my Spanish is not yet good, but allow me to say this. In Espanol, estoy haciendo lo mejor que puedo. I'm doing what I can, I'm doing my best. Again, estoy haciendo lo mejor que puedo. Te tenemos Cristo, eso es más que suficiente. How is Christ sufficient? Probably we need to experience Him all the more in a personal level. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Lydio.